Ellarigu namaskara. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to the Little Things. Let's say you're already here in Canada, staying in an Airbnb or your friend's place or your relative's place, and in a couple of weeks' time, you need to move to your next accommodation. How do you search for it? You can, of course, search by yourself through all these various websites about which I'll talk in some time, but you can also take help from realtors. Now, these people will provide you with various options depending on your budget and criteria, and it's really easy to find them on various Facebook groups. The best part about it is that, unlike in India where you need to pay a certain commission, here the landlord will take care of those charges. We have not used any agent so far, so I'll not be able to talk much about it. Instead, in today's video, I would like to discuss about how to find your next accommodation all by yourself. I guess most of you are aware about Facebook Marketplace. Now, it's a good option, but I personally think there are better options than that, mainly because one thing that I've noticed so far is the location provided in these ads will most of the times not be accurate. Let's say the property itself is in Scarborough, but the location would be showing up as downtown Toronto, which you will know only after you contact the person who has put up the ad. And other than this, I've also seen that there's very little description about the place itself, about the various amenities and how utilities is shared and all those details. So you can definitely have it as a backup option, but don't entirely rely on it. One of the most popular and best options in my experience and opinion is definitely Kijiji. Now, there are other websites as well which cater specifically for condo rentals or apartment rentals, but Kijiji is one place where you have everything, right from your basements, townhouses, detached homes, condos, apartments, everything. This is the site which we have used mostly, and today's video is going to be all about how to find your next accommodation using Kijiji. First of all, have you ever wondered what is this word Kijiji? Because it's not a common word, right? If yes, then it means village in Swahili language. Now, I came across Kijiji when I was watching all these YouTube videos when I was in India, going mad how to find my next accommodation once I land here. And ever since I've come to Canada, if there's one website which I've used crazily, then it has to be Kijiji, all thanks to our never-ending moving process from one place to another. For someone who's new to Kijiji, it simply is like your Facebook Marketplace but a better version of it. There will be a service provider, there will be a service receiver, and the place where you two guys meet is Kijiji. But please keep in mind that Kijiji is in no way responsible for the quality of products nor the transactions that take place. Speaking of the services itself, you name it, you will find it here. Right from finding stuff to furnish your home, to finding vehicles, electronics, to even finding your job, what and what not. But for today's video, we will focus on real estate.
Let's first key in Kijiji, go to their website and see how exactly do we do it. Here we will click on real estate. We are economically very far from choosing for sale option, so let's click on for rent. Now, amongst all these different options, the ones we are interested in are the first three. Long-term rentals is where you can find homes for long-term lease of 1 year or month-to-month is also possible. Short-term will be either month-to-month rentals, or people would be subletting their place for a short duration of few days or weeks to a couple of months.
Subletting is a very common concept here. Let's say, for example, I stay in a private one-bedroom shared space. So I'm planning to visit my home country for the next 1 month's time. So during that time, I still have to pay my rent, right? So what I would do instead is I will sublet my place to another person for that time frame, so that I'll get some money out of that person for the place and I can use it to pay my rent or anything else. So that's how subletting works.
Next is room rentals and roommates, which I think is a great option if you know that you want to specifically live in a shared space. Students and singles can definitely use this option to find very affordable rentals. For now, let's just say I want a private space and I'm okay with going for long-term lease as well as month-to-month. For now, I will click on long-term rentals, and whatever options I will show you here will be more or less the same for other rentals too.
Also, what you can do is one day you can search in long-term rentals and the other day you can search in short-term rentals, and do this alternatively. The reason behind this is most of the times if you go, for example, to a short-term rental ad and read the description, they would have mentioned that they are okay with long-term lease as well. So by checking out both the rentals, you will not be losing out on good place matching your criteria. As you can see here, there are around 10,388 rentals showing up currently in Toronto alone, and it's a huge list to go through.
So go ahead and customize your search through applying filters as per your needs. So click on filters. First is location. It's up to you whether you want to be in Scarborough or Mississauga, North York or Brampton, or simply in downtown Toronto. For now, I will choose Scarborough because I have seen that it has some good as well as affordable rentals. Distance is like what should be the radius of area in and surrounding the location you are interested in. I would like to keep it as 30. Next is price.
Anything around $1,200 for a private space is really good deal, but I do want to have a look at places which are a bit costlier as well as cheaper than this price. The reason behind this is if I can find a place which is cheaper and is also good, then why not? For example, the place that we are living right now, it doesn't even cost us $1,200. And when it comes to rentals which are a bit costlier, most of the times what happens is people are okay with negotiation, and especially if you tell them that you are new immigrants, then they'll be more considerate towards you and would like to help you out. Trust me on this, even if you're really bad at bargaining, once you come to Canada and if you really want to save some money, then you will eventually learn this art by yourself.
So my range would be around $1,000 to $1,300. Now in Canada, you have various types of accommodation like the ones listed here. To summarize, I would say apartment and condos are like regular apartments in India. Rest are all different kind of individual houses in which you will be either renting the whole unit or just the basement. I will choose basement here as it is the cheapest. Now for the rest of the filters, I would say unless you are very specific that you just want one bedroom, one bathroom, nothing more, nothing less, then go ahead and specify it. Or else I would say let it be and don't choose anything here. By this way, we will have more options to choose from and will not lose out on useful listings. For utilities again, I want to mention that different people have different way of posting their ads. Some would include the utilities price in the rent price itself, but there will be others who will say like 30% of utilities will be shared. So since it's not a fixed criteria between different listings, I would skip it for now. I don't own a car, so I don't want any parking, but if you do have one or have plans of buying a car very soon, then please select accordingly. Next is furnished. Most of the rentals here are unfurnished, but you also have a good number of semi or completely furnished spaces too. So depending on your needs, you can choose this one. If you are a new immigrant and don't want to spend a lot on buying new furnitures, then it would be really good if you move to a furnished space. Next is appliances. I would say please select both in-unit and in-building laundry option unless you want to go out in search of coin laundry or laundromat to wash your clothes. Pet friendly, not all landlords are okay with their tenants having pets because some of them have allergies, so be mindful of that. Accessibility is if you have some special needs, then you can choose them from here. Next is more filters. Let's click into that. Just like one of my previous videos on Airbnb booking, I would like to say don't select unnecessary filters. Choose only those that are must-haves. So most of the filters you will find here are things which can be variable and most of us should be okay with it. Due to pandemic, there are two filters which can come in handy, and these are virtual options and ads with images and videos. This might reduce the hassle of going to the location and checking out the place, but I would still say you can skip these because A, not all landlords are utilizing this option, and B, anyway you will have to visit the place when you would finalize it. So I wouldn't personally select these options. Therefore, I will not select any filters except for the last filter, which is offer type. So in Kijiji, there are both people who are renting their places and those who are looking for these places, right? So offering ads is from the people who are renting, and wanted ads is people like us who are searching rentals. So I would choose offering ads.
As you can see now, there are just 44 rentals matching these filters. Imagine if you select more and more filters, then this list will only shorten further. Now click on Apply Filters.
Now you go through the listing and check them one by one. One thing that I wanted to tell you is, since we have not selected specifications for bedroom, there would be listings which will have a single bedroom with shared common spaces as well in this list. I'm sure after spending a couple of days browsing through the listings, just by looking at the ad, you will be able to ignore them. But for starters, I would say mostly these ads will have bedroom specification in the ad, like one bedroom for rent. But for private spaces, ads title would be like one bedroom basement for rent. Second thing is, some owners, they don't like putting out the pictures as well. So if you see an ad without images, outright don't ignore it. Do check it out and see if everything else is as per your criteria. If yes, you have the option of messaging the contact and request for pictures. So let's say I like this place and I want to check the details, so I'm gonna click on it. If you really want to save your time, I would say first check the description.
Trust me when I say this, description is a really interesting place. The reason why I say this is because some landlords are really easygoing. They do not have too many specifications, but there are others who are really specific about whom they'll be renting out their place to. Right from to how many people they want to rent out their place to, whether you are student or working professional, single or couple, male or female, whether pets are allowed or not, smoking is allowed or not, guests are allowed or not, to even to the extent of saying what kind of cooking is allowed, whether vegetarians are allowed or non-vegetarians are allowed. All those things, and also other information like what are the things they would require from you, whether it's your pay stubs or credit score check, your previous landlord reference letter, and how much deposit they would require. All this information will be provided in the description. Now this list is never ending, and please don't think that I'm being mean or talking ill about these people. Not at all. Of course, it's their place and they have every right to decide who will be residing in their place, right? But as a new immigrant, when you see all these specifications, it kind of feels weird at times, and that's how I felt back then, but now I've gotten used to it. But it is what it is. So what I would suggest is first read through the description, and I'm sure you will also come across a few funny or weird ones. If yes, let me know in the comment section below. But yes, make sure that there's nothing too specific that they're mentioning, like let's say you're a non-vegetarian and they say that they'll only rent out their place to vegetarians, then there's no point of you going through the location or pictures or contacting the landlord. So by doing this, you will save yourself a lot of time.
So if you think you're okay with whatever is mentioned, then go ahead and check the pictures and then the location. Most of the time, location provided is almost accurate or is of the nearest landmark. Click on map and then view it on Google Maps. Check the neighborhood to see if all the essentials like TTC or grocery shops are nearby. One frustrating thing about this website, which they can definitely better, is if you want to go back to the listing while you're on a map or checking the pictures, don't click the back button. Instead, you will have to click on this close option. If not, you will be out of the listing and taken to the full list from where you started. For example, if I click this, I will be back to my listing. If by mistake I click back button, then this is where I will be and I'll have to scroll down again. So the last thing to check is the overview of the unit, whether utilities are included or not, will you be getting free Wi-Fi or cable or not, whether parking is included, what will be the agreement type and move-in date. You can have an idea about how big the unit will be based on the size of the unit, whether the unit will be furnished, and what are the appliances that you will be receiving. Do you have air conditioning, which gets important during summers, things like that. Once you're okay with everything, you will then have to contact the owner. Some people are okay with messaging on Kijiji, and sometimes there will be people who will say they will only respond to calls and would have provided their number, so you will have to contact accordingly. Also, here you have some information about the owner, and if the owner has multiple rentals, you can click on the listings and it will show up. In fact, that's how we found our home in downtown.
Once you contact the owner, what usually happens is, if both of you are interested, they'll provide you with the location of the place if it's not already present on Kijiji. So you can fix the timing, go down and have a viewing. If you really like a place, then I would highly recommend for you to go ahead and book the place. Now, when we were new to Canada, what we used to do is we would make a list of 4 to 5 places which we used to like, and we would go and visit them, right? So let's say morning I visit a place and I really liked it, but since I still have a list of places to look for, I would let the landlord know that by evening I'll let them know. So by evening I would have decided that I like the first place. So when I gave a call to the landlord, they would be like, sorry, but the place is already taken, because that's how competitive the market is here. I've in fact seen some people who actually carry their documents so that if they like the place, they can finalize it then and there. Now, I'm not asking you to make some hasty decisions, but what I would like to tell you is, if you take too long to decide, it can actually cost you that place. Also, on a personal note, I would like to say that when we were new to this place and going through this process, there was one thing that we used to find very weird, and that is to make this deposit amount. Sometimes they would be okay with interact transfer. Even then, I used to feel, what if we get scammed? And there were times when they used to ask for cash without any acknowledgement. So this was very new to us, but it is what it is, and I would say don't worry much about it. Maybe what you can do is make a small deposit of $100 or $200, or when you do make the deposit, you can ask for the key. So whatever makes you feel comfortable about making that initial deposit even before moving to the place, do that. I guess that's it for the day, guys, and I hope to see you all soon in my next video. If you have found this video informative, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I wish for all of us to be blessed with abundant love, peace and happiness. Take care, and do remember, life's all about the little things.